On KFI AM 640, more stimulus. We are talking with Susan Elliott. She's part of a group of protesters who show up every month at the Church of Scientology in Hemet. Susan has a friend named Susan, and the friend, Susan's daughter, works inside the Los Angeles Scientology Center. These people are called Sea Orgs. They work as staff, and they devote their entire life to Scientology, and Susan feels that these people are being abused. They're brainwashed.
They're almost being held like prisoners.
And they see very little of the outside world. They get paid very little money, and their minds and actions are controlled by the Scientologists. So they show up every month in Hemet at something called Gold Base, the Scientology Center there, and the Riverside County Supervisors got their arms twisted by the Scientologists to pass an ordinance to require the protesters to stay, up to 300 feet away?
Well, they changed that, actually. They tried to pass that in the first place, and somebody pointed out, that's crazy, that they'll be protesting in somebody else's neighborhood, for the person that they're trying to protest
be too
against.
far.
So then they made it 50 feet.
Then they made it 50 feet, but it's still very confusing because if you want to, this thing was brought up solely because the Scientologists hounded the supervisors to do this because
and you think in
their
particular
job.
Supervisor Jeff Stone, who proposed the ordinance, was really lobbied hard by the...
Correct.
The irony here is Jeff Stone was with us in front of David Allen Dokich's house a few years ago. Dokich was this mentally disturbed sex offender who was assigned to a residential home in a neighborhood, and we joined the locals and Jeff Stone in protesting, and eventually Dokich was removed.
And eventually died.
In prison. So why is Stone in favor of us protesting Dokich, or he was in favor of himself protesting Dokich, but nobody could protest the Scientologists?
Well, here's the thing. L. Ron Hubbard, the Scientologists have to follow what L. Ron Hubbard said to do. And L. Ron Hubbard hated critics. And there are pages and pages of what he said to do with critics. And it's always to destroy them, to paint them in a bad light, to make them seem like evil people. So what the Scientologists did was they produced this document, this 53-page document that is the history of Anonymous and their crimes. And I actually found this document online. Some guy uploaded it from Christchurch, New Zealand.
Right, and Anonymous is the protest group you belong to.
Right. And so then this document was given to the supervisors. And Jeff Stone, I believe they're in his district. And they, every job in Scientology is, you have a goal that's set and you have to meet it. That's why they have to work so hard. And I would believe that the PR people inside there, their goal is to get rid of the protesters, period. So they produced this horrible document, and it makes...
What was in it? What was the worst?
There's a lot of racist pictures and, just horrible things about cutting yourself and committing suicide. I mean, picture what you can find on the Internet. It's horrible and awful.
Well, wait, what they're claiming that you, the members of Anonymous, engage in...
Exactly.
Cutting yourselves?
Right.
And you're killing yourselves?
I'm a middle-aged woman, it was just ridiculous. And most of the people out there, I know them, and a lot of them are older people, and nobody...
And why does the average person join? Is it because someone in their family or someone they know is in Scientology and they feel that their friend or relative is trapped in the cult?
Some do. Some of the old-timers are. But this new group, this Anonymous group, the thing that pushed their button was that Tom Cruise video being removed off of the Internet. Scientology has been at war on YouTube removing videos. And these are all Internet, they're...
Yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah,
he explains how Scientology works for him.
Exactly.
And it was creepy looking. It got boring after a while.
Well, it pushed a lot of people's buttons because they see they're really strong free speech advocates on the Internet, but then they also organized message boards and started collecting information and leaks and old stories and old court cases and started educating themselves. And now, they're all just experts. In fact, they were watching live on the Internet, watching the meeting, the Riverside meeting, cheering, talking about it. They've already uploaded videos of it. So they've really educated themselves. And, if it has to do with the Internet, they can do it.
So where are we now on this ordinance? Apparently it's been suspended for a month?
Well, there's been a lot. The meetings have just been absolute fireworks because it's kind of become clear that the supervisors were duped by the Scientologists into making it seem like the protesters are these terrorists. And I hope they're embarrassed because it's pretty obvious. People have gotten up in there and spoken. Even people who had attended the David Allen Dokich protests, they got up and said, "What are you doing? This is crazy." And then the LA Times was there, and people got up and showed pictures of all the, the terrible things that you can see. There's barbed wire and guard gates.
Well, you know what? We'll keep on top of this, Susan. This is fascinating.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention. This is interesting.
Hey,
all right.
Hey, can I plug a website really quick?
Sure.
Yeah, there's whyweprotest.net, and they're going to talk about the anniversary there. And then there's also xenu.net and xenu.net for information.
All right, whyweprotest.net and Xenu?
Correct, XENU.
All right, thanks for talking to us, Susan Elliott.
Thank you so much.